Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with how to build a really basic classical music library. We're doing the standards, and not just the standards, but like the really basic standards, because, well, there's a reason they got that way. It's because they're marvelous and everyone knows them. And today, well, in our last episode, we started doing a couple overtures. We started with Mozart's The Marriage of Figaro, and today we're doing Rossini's William Tell. Yeah, William Tell Overture. Oh, it's so well known, but nobody knows the whole thing. The interesting thing about it is that people know it in pieces because it's actually the William Tell Overture, sort of a miniature, almost symphonic poem. And it has four distinct sections. And those four distinct sections you've heard, but you just don't know they all belong to the same thing. It's so much fun to listen to it for the first time and realize that it's all part of one composition. So let's talk about William Tell generally, first of all, then we'll get into the details. William Tell was Rossini's last opera. He lived for another, 30 years, 40 years, quite a while. He retired from writing operas and then had a long period where he was not well. He was a very nervous guy. He had obsessive compulsive disorder, I'm sure, because when he ran the opera house in Naples or whatever else he ran them, he would dictate to the players how far they have to sit from their music stands. And if you look at his scores, they're written with insane precision and detail. Actually, it's a combination of incredible detail and incredible slovenliness, because there are things where he repeats things or he doesn't even write it out. But normally, he wrote with incredible precision in terms of his accent and what he wanted the instruments to do. You could just tell that he was really obsessive. And by the time he was about 30, he had burnt himself out. And he burnt himself out with this gigantic opera. William Tell is huge. It's as long as a Wagner opera. It's a good 4+ hours long if you do all of it. There's a wonderful story about somebody finding Rossini in the street and saying, we're going to be producing William Tell. And he looked at him and said, all of it? Really? Because it was just enormous. But this was a piece that invented grand opera in Paris. It was written in French. And it was one of those pieces that set the standard for much of what happened later in the 19th century. And it's a wonderful work about, Swiss people running around and shooting arrows off of the top of their kids' heads. And it's about freedom. And there's a political aspect to it. And grand opera had that. You have these huge crowd scenes into which are inserted personal, vignettes, the love interest and the other things. It's a really dynamic piece of music, and it gave birth to all kinds of other things, like Mussorgsky's Boris Godunov, for example. Where you're dealing with the struggle of peoples for freedom and liberty, and it's terrific. Anyway, for this opera. For this opera, Rossini wrote this awesome overture in 4 distinct movements, really. It's almost like a symphony. It's about 15 minutes long. It's a pretty big piece for an overture. So it starts with a beautiful, lyrical, luscious paragraph for cellos. Just cellos, solo cellos. It's really a remarkable thing. Just the sound of the cellos. Singing this beautiful hymn, which is what it is. It's truly, truly lovely. And then as the hymn evaporates, we start to hear little raindrops, plink, 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 little ominous tremolos in the strings. And then a thunderstorm erupts, an alpine thunderstorm, which you've probably heard, because the entire overture was sequestered and used frequently in cartoons as cartoon music. So you know what this sounds like. So the storm comes, like that. It's very storm-like, and very powerful and exciting. And really, I've played this overture about 1 billion times, and it's more fun than anyone has any right to have. It really is. So you get the storm. Then after the storm, the clouds clear up. We get the Ranz des Vaches, which is a Swiss yodeling tune, a cow tune, cows in alpine pastures. And you know this tune. It's right. It's for all those country pastoral scenes. You've heard it. Spike Jones gargled to it. There's the Ranz des Vaches, and that's very cute and charming, and it has delicious playing from solo English horn and the little flute decorating it on the top of the triangle. It's deliciously well orchestrated. It really is. It's beautiful sounding, and it creates an instant pastoral image, which has become really the iconic standard for pastoral scenes, even more than Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony. Trust me. I mean, you know this thing. And then comes the part everybody knows, because the cows get interrupted by a fanfare. Dum ba-da-dum ba-da-dum. You know how that goes, right? It's the Lone Ranger. Lone Ranger TV theme, and it's used for billions of other things. And that gallop, I mean, Shostakovich quotes it in his 15th Symphony and uses the rhythm constantly. I mean, the finale of his 6th Symphony. I mean, it's all Rossini. It really is incredibly famous, and it's wonderful. The fun thing about it, of course, is that it has a middle section. It's actually an ABA form, and nobody knows B. Everybody knows. We all know that part, right? But then there's a middle section that goes, I can't do it. It's too fast. But it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And everybody just leaves that part out because, it's not the part everybody knows. And then, of course, the gallop, the part we know, comes back. And there's this huge, crashing, crazy ending that gets everybody ready for the grandiose drama, which is to follow. It's just a wonderful piece of music. And it requires absolutely no special thought or experience to listen to other than an imagination, an openness to color, and some great tunes. It's really an extraordinary work, perfect for building a classical music library. It's doing some basic stuff and getting to know Rossini, who was an amazing composer. For most people, he's known for his overtures. There's that one, there's The Barber of Seville, there's The Silken Ladder, there's La Gazza Ladra, The Thieving Magpie, most of which you know. I mean, you all know The Barber of Seville, right? Right? We know these things. They're part of our cultural DNA. But I wanted to start with the big one, the really big, juicy one. I will talk about some of the other ones too in this series because they are incredibly well known and famous. And if you get the William Tell Overture, you could stream it or download it, of course. But you may, if you buy a disc or a recording, you're going to get several. You'll get a clump, and you'll want to hear them all because they're just fabulous. And I will recommend a recording, as I always do, in the description of this video. So if you're looking for a CD or something, you could get a bunch of Rossini overtures because you just gotta have them. They are not easy to play, by the way. I just want to say, they sound like they're just all fun and games, but Rossini, like I said, was a composer who wrote with incredible precision and virtuosity for individual instruments. And so they require conductors who are into the details. You can't be sloppy. They have to be rhythmically precise. They have to be really pointed in their accentuation. You have to follow the dynamics. You have to really be careful with balance and color. They're wonderful virtuoso orchestral showpieces, and you will just love them, guaranteed. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.